Hello, good day, dear viewers. Once again, we're here on LATOKEN Venture Capital TV. We have a fantastic show prepared for you today. It's Phunware, and it's really such an amazing thing that I'm very excited to tell you about it. But before we jump on the questions, I would like to just remind you that during all our sessions, you get to hear it directly from the CEOs, the founders, or the relevant leaders speaking about it. And you can post your questions or your comments in the chat box, and we will address it here. Also, as a reminder, you can see our previous shows and content by visiting latoken.com/VCTV/shows. And if you're watching us from YouTube, just hit the subscribe button so you get great content, opportunities, and even giveaways like we will mention today at the end of the session. So please stick with us. One last reminder, anything mentioned here is not any type of financial advice. So please do your research before making any decision. Is your choices and your responsibility. And with that said, I would like to welcome Phunware Randall Crowder, COO. Randall, how are you?
Good, Xavier. How you doing? I appreciate you having me.
Fantastic. No, great having you here. It's amazing. The project is super good. The company has been working since 2009, is Nasdaq listed, and has even developed the social media for a former U.S. president. I
It's
mean that
We've been doing
that
a
is
lot, and I think that look, I think that's what the industry needs, right? I think everybody's, you look at what's going on right now, and it's hard to know which way is up. Who's credible, who's not, who's a scam, who's gonna rug pull you. And so I really think that you saw the same thing with the dot-com boom. I think you'll see
yeah.
the same thing in crypto. People need to look for real companies solving real problems in the real world, and that's absolutely us. Phunware, the actual company, and then what we'll talk about today is PhunToken.
Okay, great. We're really, really curious about it. Been reading a lot of good reviews, and also we start getting messages from your community. It seems they
Good.
really like the project, so that's always great news to hear. Rhonda, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, the team behind the project?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been doing this, like you said, since 2009. I'm going to change the question a little bit and say the company behind the project, right? So I think a lot of people, when they're doing AMAs, it really is a team. It's a startup.
Hmm.
And sadly, I think a lot of them are what I call entrepreneurs. This is their first foray. I've seen projects where the team has never even met each other. You got a couple of Solidity developers in Romania, some community manager in Colombia, and they're just virtually cobbling together, what they hope to be a company, and trying to convince people that, they have the experience, the wherewithal, and the stamina to see it through. And I think we see all too often that's really hard. It is hard to start anything, and it's even harder to build a company around what you started. And so, thankfully, we've been doing this for 13 years. So, Phunware, the company, started in 2009. We helped the largest brands on the planet pivot from web to mobile. So we built the first NFL app, the first NASCAR app. We built the first WWE app. We built all of Fox's mobile application portfolio. We did the Sochi Olympics. As you said, we did the presidential election last year for Trump. We have built mobile ecosystems at the highest level. And so as we've been doing that, really, what are you trying to do? You're trying to engage consumers. And, as a team, we've been doing this for since the very beginning. The CEO and founder, Al Natowski, is still the CEO. Our average employee tenure is about 6 years. The C-suite that
Hmm.
has been working together on average for about 9 years. And so, we've got tried and tested, executives that have been doing this for a very long time. You can go to phunware.com, you can go to the leadership tab, or the about us tab, drop down to leadership, learn all about each of us individually. But I think the most powerful thing is less about, the team, because we've been doing this since the very beginning, and it's the company. We have innovated at the highest level in this area, and there's a track record there that I think should give people comfort as they're thinking about, all right, do I want to invest in this in FunToken? Do I want to invest in Phunware? Are they accountable to me as a token holder? And that's us. And we can talk more about actually the specifics and the features. But world-class team, been doing it together for over a decade. And this is just a natural extension of our platform and our life cycle as we continue to try to build what we're really trying to build is a truly decentralized data economy. And we have the people to do it.
Great. And it's so good to hear that because, as you said, Randall, it's not very often that we can have projects with such a history like yours. Usually the projects have like 2, 3 years approximately, kind of new, right? But to have a company like yours with everything that has done and actually come up with something new, that's very good to hear. Uh,
Absolutely.
Now we learned a little bit about where you're coming from, but what is the problem that you foresaw and motivated you and your co-founders to start this project?
Yeah, so to really understand kind of the problem we solve, you do got to kind of go back to the beginning. And so, as I mentioned, we were building these big mobile ecosystems for some of the biggest brands on the planet, and really
Hmm.
what they were trying to do was better engage their consumers, right? And so, along the way, we also developed really incredible feature sets like location software. So not only could we engage you through mobile applications, but we could also find you to be able to engage you in a more contextual way. So what I mean by that is, outdoors you would use GPS to find somebody, you use satellites. Indoors, well, what do you use? Like, what if you're inside a casino or a large luxury resort or an office building, and I want to engage you through mobile? You need location software to triangulate that mobile device so that I can find you and give you the information that you need or give you the access that you need to whatever you're doing, because these spaces are turning into smart spaces. So we got really good at being able to find you. We got really good at being able to engage you. And then we started thinking like, well, if what we're doing to engage you is driving productivity or driving profitability, we might be willing to incentivize that engagement. And where this actually started was somebody who's actually now on our board. So Kathy Mayer is on our board, and she used to be the CDO and CMO of Carnival Cruise Lines. And
Okay.
she was struggling with, first off, let's think about how do we drive profitable behavior. And one of the things she really wanted to do was sell more excursions every time a ship left port. And so that makes sense. It's a sunk
Mhm.
cost. Everybody,
Yeah.
the voyage is underway. The more excursions you sell, the more money you make. So
Yeah.
we started riffing with her, how do you sell excursions today? And I said, well, pretty much we just put out signage, or if we can actually sell one-to-one, if we have the staff, we'll try to convince you as you're boarding the ship, hey, are you interested in some of these excursions? Really archaic way of doing it. So with our existing mobile platform, we would turn that on its head. We would tech enable that sell. So as you're waiting to board or sitting in the bar waiting for the ship to push off, we would send you a push notification through Carnival's native mobile application, and it would say, hey, Xavier, do you want to check out some of the excursions that you're going to have available to you? Because we know video converts at 80% higher than print media. And now I'm just going to hope you're going to watch the video. But herein lies the rub. What if you're busy? What if your kid's
Hmm.
crying, or what if you're
Yeah.
standing in line for the bar waiting to get a drink? What if your wife's yelling at you for something else? Where's the luggage? And so I might
Sounds
not be
familiar.
able to convert you in that moment. So I might want to have a hook. Hey, Xavier, I'll pay you to watch this video, because if I know my conversion metrics, I might be worth it to pay to acquire that customer, to acquire your attention. But I don't want to use fiat for that. And so blockchain becomes a really great platform to do microtransactions autonomously at scale, where I'm influencing behavior. Hey, watch this video. Hey, fill out this survey. Hey, what if I'm a hospital and I want to get people to show up on time for their doctor's appointments? I'll pay you to show up on time. And what's really cool about our platform and how we can start growing and scaling even faster is our technology was always designed to live inside of other people's mobile applications. So what I mean by that is, if anybody in this space is technical, there's something called a software development kit. There's also things called application program interfaces. That means
Hmm.
the features of our platform can live inside somebody else's application. So in this instance, like Carnival Cruise Lines, you wouldn't have to download a new app. Our software would live inside of the Carnival Cruise Line app, And then we would map and track behavior like, hey, clicking this button to watch this video. And then we would reward you based on that behavior.
Okay,
The
so
other,
then there's an
go ahead.
right, sorry, Orlando. Okay, so there's an API, right, with Phunware and let's say Carnival Cruises, and Carnival Cruises app stays the same.
Yep,
I get
exactly. You
okay.
don't have to change behavior. And I
Right.
think this is a very important point for a lot of, I think, people who are new to crypto. How you acquire customers is going to be critical if you ever want to kind of cross the chasm for mainstream adoption. And so if you think about something like, a comparable to what we're doing, basic attention token, you're required to download and install an entirely new browser so that it can track your behavior and reward you for advertisements that you see. I don't know about you, but I don't want to compete with Google, with Chrome or Safari.
Mhm.
Those are massive browser companies, and people are just, they like what they like and they do what
Yeah.
they want to do. And for the most part, it's why we only have two phones in this world, either, an Android or, an iPhone. And so I think for me, we've always wanted to figure out how to leverage other people's ecosystems, other people's audiences. So by living inside of their application, not only can we map and track behavior, but we can stay on brand. So we don't even have to call it Fun Token. Inside of their application, they could call it a Carnival Coin if they wanted to. And so now you're earning Carnival Coin on brand. You may never have touched crypto a day in your life. You're just going on a cruise, but you watch a video, maybe you're in the casino for more than an hour, or you do other actions that are profitable and you're earning Carnival Coin. You're kind of thinking, whatever, I don't even know what that is. Maybe you spend it while you're on your cruise, or you cash out. And you can actually, cashing out just means you go to Fun Wallet, and that's when you can convert it to Fun Token, and then you can send it to an exchange or do anything else. So you begin to capture all of these people who are new to crypto and be able to get them into crypto in a safe way that's also secure. Because what we're doing by doing this is
Mhm.
also almost a layer 2 scaling methodology where you can ensure security and compliance before going on chain. So while we're inside the Carnival app, that's all effectively layer 2. And then you're going into Fun Wallet with whatever you earned during your cruise, and then you can memorialize it on chain. That's going to be table stakes for any major brand to engage in some sort of, blockchain enabled, whether it's marketing, whether it's rewards, whether it's loyalty. They're not going to risk, a bot attack or some sort of market manipulation. And quite frankly, they don't want to deal with the compliance of it all. They
Mhm.
want to drive profitable behavior or productivity, and they want somebody else to deal with all the complexities of blockchain. And that's what we provide, is kind of a blockchain enabled loyalty and rewards platform as a service.
Okay, great, great. One question I have when we're talking about this topic. So the target audience, let's say in this case, the people in the cruise, they don't have to like open an account, right? With
Exactly.
Phunware, they probably don't even have to know about crypto. They don't have to be crypto traders for it.
Exactly. And that's the key. You want to make it a frictionless experience. Because remember, we've been designing mobile software for large brands since the beginning.
Hmm.
Back in 2009, less than 3% of internet content was consumed on mobile. Fast forward to today, it's more like 85%, and the vast majority of that's native applications. So we've gotten very good at what's called design-led thinking. Like,
Hmm.
how do we designed all of Fox's mobile application portfolio. We designed the presidential application for Trump. So like understanding gamification, understanding, frictionless onboarding, understanding, how do you get people to what they need inside a mobile ecosystem quickly, and not lose them or have attrition as you go through kind of your experiences within that mobile application. We've been doing it longer than pretty much anybody because we've been around since before the App Store. And so when it comes to trying to get people to get comfortable with crypto, you've got to think about it like Shopify. You got to think about it like, tried and true e-commerce. You got to think about it like what people are normally used to. Right now, so much of crypto is being driven by engineers, and I love my engineers, but they're really smart. And it's almost like they're trying to make it hard. They're trying to make it scary. And everything is super complicated. Connect your wallet over here and then send it over here and then do this over here and then make sure you do this, then copy and paste this. It's like, it doesn't have to be that hard. If you go to, you have it down here at the bottom of the screen. If you go to phuntoken.com, you'll see a site that looks, inviting, very educational. And then if you click on, rewards above, you'll be able to go into an interface and it will go step by step. How do you, what does it mean for rewards? How do you provide liquidity? So right now we're just testing the interface for like providing liquidity. But if you drop down into the liquidity bucket, it'll be a step-by-step guide to providing liquidity, staking your LP tokens. Yeah, click on rewards up there at the top. This is what crypto should be, getting started. What do I do? Now click on provide liquidity over there. So one thing that people, might not understand is when you start trading in a decentralized exchange, there's market making and there's liquidity necessary for that market to be a healthy market. And so the cool thing about decentralization is you can provide that liquidity just like in the past, maybe a bank would. And so to do that, there is a series of steps that you need to follow in order to do this. And in this case, it's through Uniswap. But we take you step by step. And then even if you go to click on buy Ethereum, we'll even give you video how-tos of exactly what to do. Minute to 2 minute videos. Here's what you do. Here's how you buy it. Here's how you connect your wallet. Here's how you stake your tokens. Here's how you earn for providing liquidity. And so we think this is going to be, the future of what crypto will need in order to make it ready for mainstream adoption. You can't make it so complicated. You need to demystify it. And so we've been spending a lot of time, and it's audited by QuantStamp. It's backed by a public company. We're trying to do this in the most compliant manner possible. And we're trying to educate people, as they go, so they're not scammed and they don't have these rug pulls, and they know that they have a real team behind it, growing it. And so we'll keep, and we really encourage people to reach out and tell us what they need. Like, how do we, what can we use our resources to build in order to make it easier for them as well? So we really love feedback from the community. If they have feedback on this interface, other things they'd like to see, we're constantly trying to update this and evolve this to make it easy for people who are brand new to crypto to get involved and start to participate. Oh, you might be on mute, Xavier.
I always miss that. It's so important what you're doing now. This is about education. A lot of people have to first understand what are they going to get into, how things work, what are the benefits, what are the difference with other projects, and not just go blindly in because they read an article and I think they're going to make money. It's really so important to educate the people. And I think you're really doing it with this.
And you want people to stay, right? Because I think that's the tipping point is you don't want people to have such a bad experience when they first get involved, because they might not ever come back. I want people's first, I have people contacting me. They're like, wow, I downloaded Phunware. It's the first, crypto wallet I've ever owned. And, it was so easy and so seamless, thank you. And it's like, great. Because that person's not going to leave. But then if somebody else is like, hey, I just got involved in Luna, it's like, guess what? They're out of crypto for the rest of their lives. They'll never go back to it. And so, it's kind of beholden upon us to get it right and do it right so that we can build momentum in a safe way. Because it's no different than what happened in the dot-com boom. So you have the dot-com boom, everybody's just, flash in the pan, and you either cash out or flame out, and then the bubble bursts. But then something really exciting happens in the early 2000s. You start seeing the professionalization of the internet. You see Google come out with AdWords, and all of a sudden people realize, oh, wait a minute. There's a very institutional, professional thing we can do with this internet besides just .com this and .com that. And then that gave rise to the next major, technological, era, if you will. Same thing's going to happen in crypto. This kind of crazy, chaotic. I mean, look, NFTs, I don't know why nobody will just call a spade a spade. NFTs are just a different way of skirting securities regulations. Nobody wants to say that. Like, it's just, nobody really cares about art. We didn't all become, art aficionados over the last year. NFTs are just a creative way to get around securities regulations and not have the ICO. Now you're just minting NFTs. Like, people really care about art. It just, you hope that what you own today for one price will be worth more tomorrow and have a higher price. Full stop. So like, we've got to stop going around asking people, well, what can you do with your token? Like, let's be honest. Most people don't do anything with anything they own. They're just hoping it's worth more tomorrow than it is today. But that will flame out at some point. It always does. And what will be left will be the real innovators, the real companies that actually have real utility and can solve real problems. We are talking to brands every day, and this ability to influence behavior is a huge idea. And so in our model, we consider that like picks and shovels. And so being able to leverage our platform that we built over the last 13 years, use PHUNTOKEN to access the utility of our system, to influence that behavior through the mobile device, that is very powerful to brands, especially now, because they're looking for ways to get the attention of customers, because it's hard nowadays. I mean, we all, as consumers, we have ADD and we live in an on-demand economy. And so getting people to do something, to pay attention, to go somewhere, to check a bag, to stop taking all your your huge luggage into overhead storage. They're not going to do it unless you give them a reason to, unless you incentivize
them. Exactly.
And I think what's cool with what we're doing with that is the more we can build a engagement engine, it actually becomes a really interesting feeder for data. So every time you click on something, share something, watch something, go somewhere, you're telling someone who you are, where you are, and what's important to you. That data in and of itself becomes powerful and becomes valuable. So we'll talk about it in another AMA, but PHUNTOKEN as a utility token is just one piece of our ecosystem. We also have PHUNCoin. PHUNCoin is actually a regulated security token, and that will seek to value data. So, and I bring this up now so that people understand we're not trying to do this. We have committed a serious amount of resources to do this. As a private company, we had investors like Cisco, Samsung, WWE. We raised $100 million as a private company. We've raised $100 million as a public company. We have the wherewithal and the resources to see this through, but we're thinking long term. And so if you step back from everything that we're building, and I'll go back through it here in a second, if everything that you buy right now seems to be Amazon enabled, we want everything that you experience to be Phunware enabled.
Okay.
Every time we incentivize engagement, we want to reward you with PHUNTOKEN. Every time you allow us to sell your data, we're going to compensate you with PHUNCoin. You're going to be able to manage your PHUNTOKEN and your PHUNCoin, effectively managing your engagement and your data through PhunWallet on iOS. It's available on iOS and Android right now. You can download PhunWallet, start earning PHUNTOKEN right away. That'll be kind of the center of gravity for this blockchain-enabled data exchange and loyalty program that we're building. And then we just bought a company in Q4, which will allow us to bridge the gap between Web 2 data and Web 3 applications. And so if you think about, so we bought Light Technology. They're distributing high performance computers, and we're going to distribute them all over the world. And we're going to create a mesh network to basically disintermediate data centers. And so it's a huge idea. If you think about Bitcoin proved that you didn't need banks in the middle. The next logical step for our ecosystem is you don't need data oligarchs in the middle. You don't need Facebook and Google surveilling you and taking all your data and being that arbiter of how brands and consumers engage. If a brand wants to engage a consumer, they should be able to do that one-to-one in a trustless system. The problem is no one's built a system to make that efficient until now. So PHUNTOKEN will allow a brand to have a one-to-one interaction with a consumer And then FunCoin will allow us to authenticate who's being engaged, but also pay them for their data.
Okay. So basically, you're taking away the middleman, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the power of decentralization, right? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think,
Right.
decentralization might just be the biggest idea for global economies since the Medici's commercialized double entry accounting. That's how big it is.
Okay.
But we have so many different ways we
Mhm.
can mess it up. The challenge with decentralization a lot of times is it's leaderless. Other than Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, but Ethereum arguably was, still had a leader in Vitalik. You know, a lot of these decentralized ecosystems, if you will, or projects, they don't have a sense of urgency. You have either really smart people who made a bunch of money right in the beginning and now they're on the talk circuit. They don't really have to do anything anymore. They're billionaires or multimillionaires. You have people, minting NFT projects and they'll raise $30 million. And now what? Do they market
Mhm.
them? Do they build community around them? Do they do anything with them? No. I mean, what did Jack Dorsey's original tweet sell for? And then what did it
Yep.
sell for, months later, like a fraction of the cost? And so if you don't stand behind what you're doing with accountability and a sense of urgency, it's not going to go anywhere. And so even when we were launching Fun Token, we were talking to a lot of major, well-known, call them projects, and there's no sense of urgency. There's no the business development. There's no real true understanding of how to market or build things. And then you extrapolate out to these exchanges, and what a lot of people don't realize is that it's all synthetic volume. It's not real. It's fairy dust.
And
And what we want to do is be able to introduce something that actually can be used in the real world.
I think one benefit you have is that you have been working as a company also since 2009. So you have the sense of urgency. You know how to be profitable. You're thinking long term. You have all those capabilities. Because as you said, different projects now, upcoming projects don't really have that. They're new, very intelligent people, very interesting projects, but a little bit they're lacking what you have as a company, right?
And I think you hit the nail on the head. And for me, the way I define that is accountability. At the end of the day, we have to report quarterly. We have to be accountable to our shareholders, and that's a differentiator right now, right? So we have fund token holders, but then we have Phunware, the public company. We have Phunware shareholders. So
Hmm.
Fund Token is just a product. It's one of our products in our mass ecosystem. The multi-screen as a service is kind of our enterprise cloud platform. And Fund Token is a feature inside of that platform. It allows you to gain access to all of the different capabilities that we can offer brands. And so we can't just disappear. We can't just stop working. We can't slow down. Every quarter, in your public company, you live and die by your quarterly reports. And
Hmm.
so, we're constantly thinking about how to innovate, how to build, how to market, how to resource, but we also have to be compliant. So we did it backwards. I mean, think about what most of these, projects would do. You'd raise a bunch of money, then you'd disappear for a year or two while you told people you were building something. And the watershed moment would be this interface that we're looking at, or a mobile app, and everybody would cheer. They'd be like, look at them, they built something. Well, we did all that first. We spent our own money to do that. We have to do this in a compliant manner. So we have to KYC who we're issuing to. We have to report on what we do. We have to be accountable to our shareholders. And we needed to build our ecosystem first using our own money. So you talk about skin in the game. We didn't sell a single fund token before we built it.
And I think what you said right now is so important. And our traders, our viewers should see it this way, that this should be a security for them so they can trust the project. Because as you said, what's happening now is that there's a project has a very good idea that has
Mhm.
not been developed yet. Therefore, they have to sell their tokens, raise capital, and then just start building it. Whereas you already have it, you have developed it already, so you don't
I,
have to go through that.
You hit the
So
nail on the head.
your chances of succeeding are much more higher than all the projects out there that do not have the product ready.
Yeah, and also, taking my, product hat off and just thinking about the health of the ecosystem, which I think is equally important. Like at the end of the day, for us, Fun Token is a utility token. It has a direct utility inside of our ecosystem. However, it's a more powerful utility if there's a healthy decentralized ecosystem behind it. So whether it's on a decentralized exchange like Uniswap, whether it's a centralized exchange like you guys, we want more people to have access to those picks and shovels to Fun Token. And we want to do that in a compliant manner. But, I think for us, there's going to be there's always going to be market conditions that maybe not everybody is fully aware of and understands, and I want to make sure we kind of paint that picture for them. So if you think about so many projects, the reason why the price crashes is because those teams have raised a bunch of money up front, and they've given large venture capitalists or large investors or even exchanges a bunch of free tokens or just heavily discounted tokens. And so then when you see these opportunities to, kind of liquidate or generate a return or pump and dump schemes, they all get out and they leave consumers holding the bag. And so what that means is they have a very low cost basis and they're just selling and they're moving on to the next thing. We didn't do that. We didn't go out and sell to a bunch of VCs, a bunch of cheap tokens. We started selling to consumers first. That's decentralization. Sell it to the people. Give it to the people, give it to brands, but everybody has a cost basis. And so it protects the token velocity and it protects the price. The other thing that I think a lot of people don't fully realize is we can't market manipulate. So as right now, whoever has bought Fun Token and has on-chain Fun Token, they're the only game in town. They represent the total circulating supply. If the price starts to go up because we've capped supply and demand starts outpacing supply, we can't, we have to be compliant. We have our buy portal. So you go to buy.funtoken.com and you can buy from us, but we can't just go jump on Coinbase and start selling into the market or jump on a decentralized exchange and start selling into the market because we're a public company. And so there's a lot of things we're thinking about in terms of how do we create a healthy ecosystem that is truly decentralized, puts the consumer first, and we provide just the resources to support it. This interface, again, is just a resource. We're not selling directly into a decentralized exchange because those decentralized exchanges don't KYC. As a public company, we need to KYC you. So if you want to buy it directly from us, you got to go to buy.funtoken.com. But if you want to go to Uniswap, hey, c'est la vie. You're more than welcome to. You want to go to, an exchange like you guys? Absolutely. We welcome that. But I think we're going to protect our token velocity and the overall health of our ecosystem because we're doing this in a compliant way.
Okay, great. Randall, I want to touch the topic about the tokens so viewers can have a clear understanding of that. But just before that, I want to show a little bit of feedback that we're getting from Islam. This is definitely going to be huge as the team has been an inspiration in their innovative approaches towards achieving the project goals and visions. I'm so glad to be part of this.
I love that.
Cool vibes. Hi, Randall. Yet another AMA. Great.
Jacob. Jacob had, so if you go to like our Telegram channel, Fun Token Chat, or our Discord, you'll see people like Jacob here who just has great insight, but also just vision, for where it's going to go, which I think is incumbent. I mean, you're building community. We live in a world that wants what they want and they want it now. But who wouldn't go back in time and start buying Bitcoin below $1, when you could? Or who wouldn't go back in time and buy Amazon below $100 when you could? The most transformational innovations, when you look back in hindsight, you end up, you had almost, you had years to build out positions and get involved. And those people, I'm sure their bags felt heavy at times, and I'm sure they worried, like, wait a minute, is this going to go anywhere? But then
Mhm.
when you start seeing that thing start to
Yeah,
run, you realize, you were in the right position, and you had the right team behind it, and you were excited to be a part of it. So we are absolutely early days. We haven't even begun to market it yet. You'll start seeing. So Fun Token is going to kind of have its soft launch at Consensus in Austin, Texas, June 9th through 12th. So you'll see our presence there. You're actually going to be able to use Fun Wallet for basically a scavenger hunt. And so
oh, nice.
one of the cool things that we're working on as from a platform perspective and a roadmap perspective is think about like Pokemon Go meets
Yeah.
like a treasure hunt. So you'll be able to actually find Fun Token in the real world and collect it, tied to brands or following tasks or doing cool things. And so we're going to show an MVP of this kind of scavenger hunt. It's called the Fun Token Consensus Quest. But people will be able to actually win up to over $100,000 in rewards during the conference, and also a light mining rig for anybody who wants to get into mining. So there'll be a lot of different ways to earn, a lot of different ways to get rewarded. But you'll be able to use Fun Wallet to follow this kind of scavenger hunt and answer a few questions. Do a couple activities and learn kind of how you can engage with mobile to drive behavior. But Consensus will be kind of our coming out party, and then we'll begin marketing it. So you'll start seeing us on more and more platforms, more and more AMAs. And so this is a really good time to learn about what we're doing, and ideally begin to build out your position.
Definitely. And I think if everything goes well, you're going to have the first IEO round starting this month in LATOKEN.
That's right. Yeah, really excited about that. And again, y'all have such a great community awareness. Love to be able to, get people who are, interested in your exchange, aggressive pricing, and actually, help them kind of learn more about Fun Token as well. So it's actually a really good deal. And I think it's a really good opportunity. And so I think that'll be, here, by the end of the month, first week of June, that IEO, the first round, will be available. So hopefully there's a lot of demand. Hopefully there's a lot of people excited about it. We'll do another one if the community wants us to. And so really excited about that, and really enjoyed working with everybody at LATOKEN. Just amazing people, very responsive. Y'all have a sense of urgency and accountability, which is great. That's kind of partners we want. Where you're doing these educational series like this. You're doing it the right way. I don't know if y'all have announced it yet, but hopefully I'm not blowing up anybody's spot. I love the widget that you're starting to introduce, and so I told some folks that we would look into that and just making it easier for people to buy tokens, which I think is important.
Yeah, definitely. And for our viewers, please visit funtoken.com, as you can see below in the banner, so you can learn more about this opportunity. And as Randall said, we will have the first round of the IEO this month. Please keep an eye open in our announcement channel on Telegram. That you'll be notified in time. You will simply have to go to the token, find the ticker of the project, and then you'll be ready to join the first round. If you do not have an account in LATOKEN, simply go to our webpage, open an account. You only need one piece of ID to upload, and you'll be ready to trade. Simple as that. Around the one question I have about the tokens, just to make it clear for the audience, what would be the difference between the Fun Token and the Fun Coin?
Perfect. So I kind of mentioned it earlier, that picks and shovels model. And so if you think about the picks and shovels, that's all this idea of engagement. So think about, I go to you and I say, hey, Xavier, are you interested in buying a car in the next 6 months? Whether you say yes or no is still important to me, because as a brand, I don't want to spend money marketing to you if you're not interested. There's a really famous quote by John Wanamaker. He's often cited as the father of modern advertising. And he says, I lose half of my money in advertising. The trouble is I don't know which half. That is still a problem today. And so we want to help with that. We want to use rewarded surveys. And if you go to Fun Wallet right now, you'll be able to answer a bunch of different questions by brands. And kind of what we're doing with that is segmenting you into audiences. So if you go to ontology.phunware.com, you can see all of our audience segments, and they build out. And so you can see customer, purchase intent. You can see demographics. And so what I would say is I would give you that survey and you would say yes or no. And if you said yes, I would segment you even without knowing who you are. Just this anonymous device ID is interested in buying a car. So then let's say, a week later, you're playing Words with Friends on your phone and an ad pops up for a new car, maybe a new BMW. You're like, well, that's interesting. Well, what happened was I sold your data. Now I'll reward you with Fun Token for answering the survey. But then if I sell your data to BMW because they're looking for people to actually advertise to, I'm going to pay you for that as well. So it's two bites of the apple. I'll pay you for your intention, and then I'll pay you for your data. The intention is a utility token because that's that idea of rewarding surveys and giving you, getting the answers so that we can segment you properly. But then when we sell your data, that's the gold mine. So the picks and shovels is creating more valuable data. And then when I sell that data, I'm going to cut you in on it. Like right now, Facebook and Google just sell your data and they don't give you anything.
You don't get anything.
Credit agencies sell your data and they don't give you anything. At best, you just get hacked one day and you lose all your data or you get your identity stolen. We want to change that. We want all of your data to be encrypted and owned by you. So think of it like a decentralized node. And then effectively every user, every device is its own sidechain, and you actually control your data. And when somebody wants something from you, they've got to interact directly with you, controlled by you.
Yeah, because you think about it, it's your data, you're just transforming it into an asset, but still your asset, which you should be able to decide, I want to share it, I want to give it, I want to make more money out of it, something.
Exactly. And that's why that's a security token. So that will actually be on Securitize. So it's a licensed ATS. And so nobody's ever done that before either. We're the first publicly traded company to launch a utility token. We're the first publicly traded company to launch a security token, I believe. And, so both of those will be active, this quarter. And really excited about what they come. I think the security token stuff will take longer. That market is still, relatively new. So we're mostly focused on, Fun Token, the utility token. But while we're doing that, we're generating data. Now, here's something a lot of people don't realize about Phunware. We've been a data company for a very long time. We just haven't monetized it yet. So early on in the company history, because we were doing all these mobile applications and we were seeing all these users, we had a goal to create a Phunware ID for every human being on the planet with a mobile device touching a network. Sounds audacious, right? But when you're raising money from VCs, you got to have an audacious goal. Yeah. So far, we've created over 15 billion Phunware IDs. 15 billion with a B. And at scale, our platform sees about 1 billion active devices a month. So when you start thinking about converting and getting people thinking about their data, we've already got data. We have a petabyte of data that at scale grows at a terabyte a day. And so we want to turn that back over to the people. We want to create the right infrastructure and the right ecosystem to let people take control of their data. And that's where things are headed anyways. You have GDPR in Europe, you got CCPA in California, you got state AGs going after companies for deceptive trade practices. Google got rid of the third-party cookie. Pixels are going away. There is a huge movement right now to first-party data, and you have to be able to manage consent. And this is going to become a liability for brands that don't do this well. If you are using data and you don't know where it came from, and you don't know if somebody provided informed consent, you can now start to be fined, and there'll be huge liability, and there'll just be a resistance to any data where you don't have that nice audit trail. So that's really what we're doing here. We're creating this virtuous ecosystem that encourages consumers to participate in it because there's something in it for them. And then we create a new model for how we think about how data is sourced, curated, and leveraged.
Great. Randall, this opened up a bunch of questions in my mind. Unfortunately, we won't have time in this show for it, but I really hope to have you again in another one. And actually, matter of fact, for our viewers, we will have one because there was a competition in which the best questions that were submitted, they will receive a giveaway. There were 8 winners, and each of the winners will receive 10,000 Fun tokens. So, due to time, we are not able to address the questions. But here quickly, I would like to show the winners. These are the
I
winners.
like Mr. Funhead. That's a good one.
Yeah, awesome, right? We will be addressing these questions and we will be contacting individually these emails in order to deliver the rewards. So we will be communicating when is the next show going to be. So keep your eyes on our announcements Telegram channel. And Randall, do you have any final words for our viewers today?
You know that my team embarrassed me. So go back to the Fun Token landing page. Go back one. I guess I'm gonna let this commercial be my final sign off. Go to click on. I think go to just funtoken.com. You can probably hit back a couple times and it'll get there. There you go. Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down. Keep going. You can play that video as my sign off. I don't like being in front of camera, but they made me do a commercial, so you can
Okay,
run
can
that
I click?
as our sign off. Yeah, you can click it.
Data is the most valuable asset on the planet. How you engage with brands is worth something. Every time you click something, watch something, share something, you're telling someone who you are and what's important to you. And make no mistake, someone, somewhere, is making money off of you. Phunware is a publicly traded company that's been innovating for over a decade. We don't think that's right. It's your data, you should be in control, and you should be compensated. With FunWallet, you can engage directly with brands and earn Fun Token for simple tasks like completing surveys, watching videos, and checking out cool venues and stores. You can literally be rewarded for being you. FunWallet gives you access to deals, opportunities, exciting ways to earn Fun Token. A metaverse isn't cool. You know what is cool? The universe when it's Phunware enabled. FunWallet is the future of blockchain-enabled engagement and contextual marketing. Explore a world that just got much bigger. Download yours today.
There you go. So,
all right, cool.
I would encourage people to go to FunWallet, download it on iOS and Android. If you want to buy Fun Token, you go to buy.funtoken.com. But just go to funtoken.com and learn more about it. And then tune in to all the LATOKEN social channels for more instructions. We're going to be doing a lot, and really excited to be working with y'all. Love the community you're building. Love the response that we've been seeing from people. And so really excited to see where this goes. And if we can be helpful, please also go to even in our Discord, there's a channel in there around, features and feedback that, we're looking for good ideas. And part of the consensus quest that we have, if you're in Austin for consensus, come find us. We'll be by the main stage and by the feature stage. And there'll be representatives of Fun Token and Phunware, all over. We'll be wearing all white with big QR codes on our back. Come check us out, ask some questions. We've got a lot of exciting prizes coming out. But please be a part of the community. Go into Fun Token chat on Telegram, go into our Discord. You'll see me on there every day. You'll see Alan on there every day. The whole team's available to you. We really want to prime this for mainstream adoption. We want to be accountable to you all. And we're not going anywhere. So this is going to be an exciting ride.
Dan, thank you so much, Randall. It has been a great pleasure. Fantastic to know more about this project. Very ambitious and one of a kind. It's been mind-blowing. And we will see you again on the show. We will coordinate that to address those questions. And any demo you have, anything fresh, anything new, more than welcome to share it with us.
You got it. We'll do it. Well, actually, I will do a bunch of demos. I got a couple of videos I want to show you next time. So
we love demos. We love demos here. So feel free to bring them. Randall, thank you very much for sharing all that information with us. To our viewers, thank you for your time. And I'll see you at the next show.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.